Folks, we've lost a good one. Today's tragedy involves this large broken pot or vessel. A moment of silence. Anyways, as you can see, I have these other pots. These are going to be for the shop. Very beautiful pieces. Obviously, this one's not sellable, so I am thinking of, I really want to save it. I think I would hate for this to be the end of its life. So let's see if we can kintsugi it using some glue here. If it doesn't work out, well, it doesn't work out, but let's see if we can make it work. Okay, I'm going to be using some of this stuff, Gorilla Glue, not sponsored, but I've used this in the past and I've had success. So I'm feeling optimistic and I think it'll work, but it does require a long time to dry. So I might have to work in sections throughout the course of a few days. Okay, here is this bottom piece. I think I'm going to have to glue this one first and let it cure before I glue it onto the vessel, because it requires it, like it'll go like this and otherwise it'll kind of collapse. So let me just go ahead and glue it. And then like I said, this is probably going to be a multi-day project. So let's just start with this. I think it'll... Okay, so I glued these two together. I'm gonna have to wait for these to dry before I can glue them onto the pot. So we're gonna have to come back tomorrow and try to glue that. But I think it might work out. So it's not perfect, but I'm gonna let this fully cure. And then I'm thinking of going back in and filling in the gaps and cracks so that it feels, I guess, more intentional than just a broken piece of pottery. But I'm kind of happy. I think we can save this. It's looking pretty good. So I'm just doing a little bit of cleaning here. Okay, one of the things I like to do when I clean mirrors for a streak-free look, let me show you. So the first thing I do is I will spray down the mirror and then just take my rag and wipe off the dirt and the smudges and all that. And then I'll go in with the microfiber cloth to pick up the little lint. And then this also takes care of some of the streaks. And I feel like in a bedroom, which I know is like probably bad feng shui having a mirror here. I don't know, I don't care. And it really does make the room feel bigger. The mirror in a bedroom, especially with, I don't know what it is, but it just gets dusty or gets a lot of lint, rather. The thing about these chrome candle holders is that they get a little dusty, so I gotta wipe them down every so often. I actually have these candles. These are not real, well, they're wax candles, but they're like the little LED ones. And I put them on here. I like to turn them on at night because I can use it comes with like a remote and I can use the timer. So I have them on a timer every night. It's just like a moody vibe when I'm going to bed and just have these little candles. Sometimes I fall asleep to them on, but I usually turn on the candle setting so it like flickers like real candles. And then I could put them on like a timer. I can also like increase the brightness and such. It's so dusty in here, especially with these little shiny finishes. I am looking for a new lamp for this corner. I feel like this lamp might be too modern, and I think it kind of clashes with this side table that I got. Remember, this is the one, the little table that was off-centered and I had to adjust. I can make it a little bit festive in here for autumn. Nothing crazy, but put this little gourd or I don't know, some sort of squash. I've been adding a few little touches in here just to make it moody for autumn. I added these faux magnolia leaves. They look realistic. I will link them, but these are the red version. And then I put them in this rustic clay pot. This is the brown one here that I placed on top of the book just for simple styling. I actually, it's a queen bed and I typically sleep on the right side. So I never really used this bedside table. So I'm kind of putting something a bit larger, more significant, as it doesn't really get in the way for me. But speaking of bedding, I'm actually going to swap out the bedding. Never figure out what side is the right side. Honestly, I'm kind of just updating the bedroom for autumn with some new sheets, of course. I feel like something like this is perfect. It's like cozy. The color is, of course, beautiful, but I'm kind of a hot sleeper, but can get cold too. I don't know. I like a quilt, especially for something that's a little bit less fussy. I sometimes will go for a duvet, but I really like a quilt like this. And this one's actually from Quince, which is today's video sponsor. I ordered some new bedding from them, including the new sheets right here. These are the bamboo, I think in the walnut color. I absolutely love Quince. I have had their sheets for a few years now. I don't know if you've probably seen the green ones in my rotation. They're definitely my favorite because they are really soft and the quality is really good. And I already washed them, by the way. But now I'm gonna add this, I think it's called cross stitch bedding. I'll provide details for everything in the description. Now, if you haven't heard of Quince before, they are amazing. So they pretty much offer a bit of everything. They have things for men's, women's, accessories, homeware, some travel stuff. And their ethos is pretty much quality should not have to be a luxury. So they offer some really premium items at a reasonable price. I like to keep it simple when it comes time to bedding because I don't want to spend 20 minutes making a bed every morning. So what I like to do is I, of course, put the flat sheet, and then the quilt on top like this. Quince keeps the prices low by using a factory direct model that cuts out the supply chain middleman and reduces costs. Sustainability is built into everything they do. Whenever possible, they choose organic materials, environmentally conscientious packaging, and ethical business practices. A little bit so that it's slightly tucked underneath the pillow. And then on the sides, I can just tuck it in under the mattress. Nothing crazy, we don't need to overdo it. For the foot of the bed, I always like to do a little blanket. This is the organic airy gauze blanket. It's very soft. This is the color Dune, I believe. And something I like to do is kind of just bunch it up like this. So I also got this. So this is the organic airy gauze duvet set. This green has a wonderful tone. It'll be perfect in here. But right now I'm really embracing the quilt. So I'll just add this to my rotation. But as you can see, it's nice, textured and soft. I think I'll put this pillow that I already had on there. I think it'll work nicely. I love this color combination. It's perfect and moody for autumn. Thanks again to Quince for partnering with me on this video. I will link everything in the description or also tag it here on YouTube so that you can check it out for yourself. Quality pieces without the luxury price tag. I highly recommend. While I have you in here, let's talk about the new drapery. So these are new curtains that I added in here. They might look familiar, they might look the same as the old ones. They're pretty much the same. The only difference is that I got them wider because this is a small window, this is a small room, but I want to give the illusion somewhat of a bigger space. Making the window treatments wider like this helps to do that because this window actually ends right here. And by extending it out about, I don't know, 18 inches or so, that really helps give that illusion of a larger window. They're faux linen, but they have that linen look. They're good quality. I'll provide details in the description if you're interested, but these are basically pinch pleated, memory trained, which is what allows them to hang so perfectly like this. They're already they send them already trained. I don't even need to steam them really. They just hang so perfectly and it just looks a bit more professional. It's certainly more of an investment type of curtain, but compared to custom curtains elsewhere, it's definitely a good price. But I'll also put details for the curtain rods because I like to do a double curtain rod because I like to put these sheer. It just diffuses the light in here and makes it feel a bit more just more cozy, which I prefer. So what I like to do when I close them at night is just kind of quickly do this so that it's more evenly spaced. It doesn't need to be perfect. All right, so I want to give you a little bit of a haul of the more home decor items that I purchased in my trip to Utah, which overall I had a really wonderful time. Maybe I'll talk about it after this, but I didn't get that much. I certainly could bring a full car full of treasures, but I limited myself and just got a few. So let's start off with this. This is incredible. I mean, look at this beautiful hand-blown glass bowl. It is in the amber color. It's got even little air bubbles, which I think adds to the character of this. And something like this, of course, is beautiful for, of course, maybe holding some trinkets or maybe some smaller fruit. But I think this is perfect as is by itself, letting it do all the talking, displayed at a coffee table like this, and just like seeing how the sun, the light bounces off of it it dances. It's so special. And I did get two vases, just two vases, okay, handmade pottery. Let's start off with this one. So this is a green hand-thrown vase signed by the artist down here, and it is really special. I love the glazing effect. It sort of has these like green brown tones. It kind of reminds you of like a raku glazing, but I don't think it's technically raku. And of course the organic form is also very special. The neck is also interesting. It's got sort of like a wavy little collar, it looks like. There is a little bit of a chip at the base here, which I noticed when I bought it, but it doesn't affect the integrity of the piece. It's just a little nook. It's really not even noticeable. But speaking of special, this is a very special vase. So this is handmade, of course, marked by the artist, but this is a raku fired vase. And with the raku, of course, you just don't know what it will end up like. It's basically a glazing effect that is fired via flame, and it creates an interesting effect. And sometimes it's unpredictable. And in this particular piece, there's a lot of sort of burnt ambered colors, some orange, some browns, and almost like a taupe color. And it's quite a special piece. You can even see where the flame, like I guess a little bit of the charcoal. It's got not handles, but these little indentations almost that looks like they were kind of like pinching the clay, like probably the artist sort of pinched the clay with their fingers. This would be beautiful with something more sculptural in terms of branches, or even just leaving this as is, but maybe even some like decorative dry branches, something minimal. Let's see here. I did get two books. There was a lot of books actually that I wanted to pick up, but I think I'm getting a little full with the books, so I just got two. The first one is this old Porsche book. I especially got it for the cover. It's got the green cover, and then I like the accent red car here. I think maybe it's a 911. I'm not sure. Maybe it's a 944. Well, it says 944. I don't know. But let's manifest a 911 one day. I'd love that car. I do have the like a newer one from Amazon that I got, a black one. Maybe you've seen it throughout my content, but I think this would be kind of cool too. And then to commemorate my trip to Utah, I did get this one right here from the thrift store. I don't know what year it's from. Probably, okay, 2007. Yeah, this is kind of just a photographic book of the beautiful geography throughout Utah, which I can definitely attest to that. So many beautiful places. I went to Arches National Park. I wish I would have gone to Zion, but I didn't do good planning for that. Maybe next time. I would love to go there. Last but not least, I got, my obsession with brass, I guess, swans. Well, I guess my next thing is dolphins. I found this sculpture of dolphins. I really like them. I think they're kind of cute. There's a little bit of patina. I always also thought that the dorsal fins were larger, but I guess not. Cool. I like the base as well. It's solid brass, and I think it's special. Let me know which is your favorite. Some final thoughts, I guess, or a little recap of Utah. Overall, I really enjoyed my time there. I could totally see myself living there, but of course, visiting a place is not the same as, living in a place is not the same as visiting a place. But I like the coffee shops. I like the home decor scene. Of course, the people were friendly, and the geography, like the landscaping, the everything, like geographically, it was very beautiful. I mean, we were staying in Cottonwood Heights, so we're by the mountains, and it's just, I loved going to the mountains. And of course, the national parks. We did go to Arches, which was really beautiful. I think if you're ever visiting, I think that's probably one you can do in a day easily. You could probably do more than two, but I think it's one that you can cover in a day. So much beauty, of course, and I really enjoyed my time there. I definitely want to go back. There's more that I want to explore. So I would recommend it. It was a pretty friendly place to visit, I would say. So that's that on that. Let's move on. While visiting Walla Walla for the day, might as well stop for a little thrift store visit. This is Yeehaw Aloha. It's on the smaller side for a thrift store, but they have some pretty interesting treasures. They often run some sales, and I think they were having half-price books or $1 books. I can't remember. There are some interesting pieces throughout the space, and I appreciate how well organized everything is. Almost color-coded. Does anybody know what this is? My first thought is maybe it's used for warming up food when serving, but I'm not sure. This furniture set seems to be on sale. It includes the chest of drawers and the side table. I'm not really loving the style of this, although I could maybe see some potential by swapping out the handles, stripping it down, and maybe going for a different color tone. But I could definitely see how someone could use this in a transitional space. Would it be a thrift store visit without running into our pals here? I don't think so. Does anybody remember these? What are these called? Shake-its? Shake-ups? Something like that? Do they actually work? Let me know your experience if you ever used them. Trying to identify this object. I'm not sure if it's just a decorative piece or it has a function. It kind of looks like some sort of cannon maybe, but it has a wheel. But it also has this little knot thing at the end. Let me know if you can figure this one out. Not my style, but two words that come to mind for this: cute and dainty. Ooh, this is an interesting form. An interesting sculpture. I'm not loving the base though. Maybe concrete? Do you like that idea? How about this? My first thought is maybe a floral sort of ikebana thing, but it has a cardboard bottom, so I'm thinking maybe it's a pen holder / pencil holder. I've been working on this artwork right here. I'm in the preliminary stages of painting. I painted the center, but I'm going to continue working on the shapes and then I will do the exterior. For this one, I'm thinking I might go for some color, so we'll see what direction I take it. But I just wanted to come on here and say goodbye. There's something special in here. I have an awesome unboxing that I will be doing in the next vlog. So come back next week. Make sure you are subscribed so that you don't miss out. Also, I want to complete the thought on this vessel. It's looking like it's going to work out. It deserves a second chance, but I'm not done quite yet as I still want to work on some of the cracks and make it just feel more artistic. So be sure to come back next week so we can finish this up together. I think it'll work out. So thanks again so much for watching. I'll see you in the next vlog. Bye.